Alrighty then, hey. Today we will be going through this nugget of an article by Comic Book Reader, aka CBR.com. Well, if you enjoy this kind of content and you want to see more of it, please leave a like and subscribe, and that's going to be it for that segment. And for now, we're just going to read the article together because it is so much fun for me. Now, The Flash came out in, like, I want to say 2013-ish. It's been a while since I actually watched it. I watched it from 2013 till, like, I want to say 2015, 16. I watched maybe 2 or 3 seasons, max. And it wasn't that great. Like, the first season was good. The second season was really just okay. But, like, towards the end of it, I was like, I'm not coming back for a third season. I think I watched the first episode of the third season, maybe. No, I think I actually did watch the third season, but, like, I don't remember it that well because I did not enjoy it that much. Now, regardless of that, from what I understand from this article, I don't know, I haven't checked, and I don't plan on checking either. So if you want to correct me down in the comments, please do. But I think this is the end of the Arrowverse, according to what is being said here, because they are going out banging and screaming because that nobody cared about this, about all of the Arrowverse anymore. People stopped caring back in 2016 from what I can tell, and people even cared less as time went on. Like, everybody loved Arrow, the one with Green Arrow, and it was just okay for the first 3 seasons. The next 2 seasons were just, like, forgetful. I don't remember them that much. I don't attribute this to wokeness or anything like that. I think that's stupid. I just think that at some point, people just lost interest. I don't have an actual explanation to it other than it got boring. Now, let's read what this article has to say. Now, The Flash's star Grant Gustin has opened up about leaving the Arrowverse behind. Good, as he should, because at some point you just have to move on. You're not going to be playing Barry Allen for the rest of your life, So during a video interview with TV Line, no idea what that is, Gustin discussed the end of the wider Arrowverse, which has come to encompass a number of CW shows. I don't know. I was always so focused on what we were doing, which was The Flash, Gustin said. I mean, you're aware that you're a part of a greater Arrowverse, Barlantiverse, universe, but there's no point in thinking about the scale of it when you're just kind of learning your scene and doing your job. So he's saying, I'm just an actor. I was invested in my job, but at some point, there's no point dwelling on it, which I agree. That's what I took from what he said, at least. Gustin continues, we wanted to make many people that had been a part of the Arrowverse be a part of our last season because really it was the Arrowverse wrapping up. Oh God, nobody likes that. Like, you do 1 or 2 episodes of it, but you don't, like, spread out through the entire season. I'm not a fan of that. So it didn't really just feel like The Flash wrapping up. It did feel like the whole thing was wrapping up. He added, I guess I hadn't thought about it, but maybe in some ways it did make it a little easier knowing the party's not going to keep going without us. It's like we're shutting this place down. Yeah, I can get behind that. Because in the end of the day, it's ending with you. You're the one who's going to be putting the last nail in the coffin. And yeah, if you're into that, you want to see something end, then you want to be the last person shutting off the lights as you leave the room. Because there's nothing sadder than watching this kind of show, try its best to continue. So The Flash near its end. Gustin has portrayed Barry Allen, aka The Flash, since the series' same name debuted on the CW in 2014. My bad, it started in 2014, not 2013. Still, it overstayed its welcome. It should have been like 3 or 4 seasons max. The moment you end the Reverse Flash's story, it should have ended with that. That's my personal opinion, because all you're doing after that is just stretching out something nobody cares about. And a lot of people like to say, oh, I cared about it, and I say, good for you, go watch it. But the majority of the people who are watching it stopped watching it the moment that saga ended. So, continuing on, they had the series' 9th and final season. Oh god, 9 seasons. They must have been like drying up the well of money for a very long time. Premiered on February 8th, okay, and is set to run 13 episodes in total. So 1 a week for a month. So it's going to end in like May? Yeah, sounds about right. Including, okay, 13 episodes in total, including a 9th episode, a crossover with Stephen Amell, Oliver Queen. Better known as the Green Arrow, the person who started the entire Arrowverse. Amell revealed the title of the upcoming episode, It's My Party and I'll Die If I Want To, an obvious ripoff to Leslie Gore's 1963 song, It's My Party. Okay, it's an obvious reference. I recognize the song, but once again, you've dragged this on too long that everybody already thought that you died. You know, it's like, oh, this thing is still going on? And people will be like, yeah, and I'll be like, really? For real? Anyways, the 9th season of The Flash also prominently featured Javicia Leslie's Red Death, no idea who that is, as the latest speedster antagonist. They've been going way too unhinged. I don't know if that's a real character or if it's like a side real character who became like an over-exaggerated character. They do that a lot in all of these movies and shows where they take a character who is barely in the comics and they make out of it an entire new plot line because it's so easy to do. Leslie spoke to CBR about letting loose with the character, saying, I have never played that kind of character. When we were playing around with it, that's what we want. That's what they wanted. They wanted her to feel bigger than life. Why? They wanted her to feel strong. Once again, as a person or as a character. As a person, sure, as a character, you need like a little bit of a backstory. I'm very small. If you see me next to most of the other actors, I'm smaller than most of them, than all of them. Seeing that much rage really lifted her up and made her feel more intimidating. Once again, all that is fine, but like, what's the story behind the character of Red Death? I'm not watching something like that. I'm not watching the 9th season just to be told, oh, this is what it is. Bring us the cool characters. I don't even know if Captain Boomerang or the guy who goes through mirrors, I forgot his name, wasn't even in the show yet. Probably was, but it's a moot point at this point. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. And season 9 of The Flash is currently airing on CW. The show's previous seasons are available on Netflix. Oh, that's cool. If you have a Netflix account, you can definitely watch it. Once again, I'm going to compare this to a different show from the same universe that I enjoyed, that I think did a much better job. And that's going to be Smallville. Now, The Flash, unlike Smallville, really didn't utilize its characters well, in my opinion. I think that they stopped having a story the moment the Reverse Flash story ended. They were trying to force it back, they were trying to do other things, but in the end of the day, the end goal that they set off from the beginning was Barry versus the Reverse Flash. Here's the kicker. Smallville, on the other hand, did a much better job because they brought in a lot of characters. Zod, they brought in Metallic, they brought in Lex Luthor. They created an actual story bond between all of these characters that, in my opinion, worked a lot better. And the best part, the whole goal of Smallville was for Clark to get to the point where he can fly. And that only happens like in the end. They make sure to not give it to him until the last episode. And that like gives the entire series like an entire plethora of possibilities as to what can happen. Now, I know they ruined this by showcasing the same Clark Kent. I forget the name of the actor. I think it's Tom Welling, but I could be wrong. I think it is Tom Welling. They show him as like this, I don't mean to sound like a right wing, but they basically show him off as like a bit of a soy boy, that he gave up his powers so he can start a family. And I'm like, I don't believe that. I don't buy that. That's just me though. I think that's just like their spin on it. Terrible spin. Which is why like nobody cared about the entire Arrowverse. The Arrowverse had two good shows in it, which is obviously the Green Arrow, which had 3 good seasons, and The Flash, which had also I think 2 or 3 good seasons, with the end goal being fighting the Reverse Flash. Now, them bringing back the Reverse Flash in order to do all this kind of nonsense is, you know, up to them. But in my humble opinion, it sucked. They definitely jumped ship. They had terrible writing. They had very unfun to watch CGI. Everybody mocked it. PewDiePie mocked it. I think Moist Critical mocked it. Like, there was a lot of mockery over the CGI. Nobody really got into it as much as the hardcore fans want to say. It wasn't as big as the animated series were. Definitely wasn't as big as Smallville was. It just existed. I think it made money because I think it had enough fans that really enjoyed it, but they were basically catering to a very niche audience. They weren't making a show that everybody would have enjoyed. They weren't, in my opinion, bringing a lot of viewers in, because I have a lot of friends who are very nerdy, and they stopped talking about this kind of stuff back in like 2017 or 2018. And I stopped watching it at 2016, 2017-ish. It just lost its magic to me. Well, that's going to be it. If you guys enjoy this, once again, leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.